Good morning, crypto family. Welcome back to another episode on the Coin Kings channel. I am your host, Founder Crypto TA. I did not get a chance to go in and make the modifications to the channel that I discussed coming into the weekend, and I am not understanding why my disclaimer is not showing right now. It was supposed to pop up, and now it looks like I'm having some difficulties here with the stream altogether. All right, I'm just gonna click back on this one, and I guess I'll work with this. If you can see it, then that's fine. Just didn't open up with my disclaimer, so let me put my running disclaimer on. Give me just a second here. I don't have the music going. I don't have anything happening right now. So hopefully everyone had a wonderful weekend. We just kind of consolidated. Actually, we didn't just kind of consolidate. We consolidated all weekend long. We started to get the push up. We didn't manage to get too far before seeing a clean rejection high, and now we're back at our lows. Looks like we're about to break those lows and possibly drop down into the second VWAP with the golden pocket and the ascending trend line, which is also a part of the quote unquote bear flag, or at least I can just say it is a rising channel formation. Let me get to my captions and turn on my scrolling disclaimer since I could not get the other one to come up. All right, please note that this is not financial advice. All signals and information, all signals and technical analysis, and anything that's said on this channel is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research, okay? To verify anything that I say here, okay? Jeez. I don't really know what happened there today, but it is what it is. All right. So, like I said, we're back down here at our lows. We're trying to hold our support level in here, VWAP in here. Could be looking to roll over, come down here towards this VWAP here. We will also have a golden pocket in here and this ascending trend line. I actually turned off that golden pocket fib. It's not this. Let me get rid of that. Here we go. Golden pocket right here and this right here. I know a lot of people have started to watch this level. Way too many people have started to watch this level now, and way too many people have started to watch this level now. So I don't know how I still feel about them at this point, because a lot of people are talking about it now. Almost every crypto content creator is talking about this level up here and this level down here now. All right, so we'll see how it goes if we get the drop in here. I can say that I've been completely wrong expecting to see that daily time frame actually get that bounce from here. It has not happened. We are doing what's known as walking the line, is where you have now don't get me wrong, the RSI for the daily time frame can still go lower. If it wanted to, it could still go lower, but it's not doing that. It's flat. So it's flat and it's just going sideways, which is walking the line. Usually you'll walk the line more around well, I guess you could say it's at 34 right now, so it's not technically at 30. And I don't even use 30. I use lower than 30, but at 30, if it was just flat walking across there, that would be more the technical area for it to walk the line. But that's what it's doing. Forgive me for my voice here. It's also going out a little bit. So yeah, we lose here. I'm going to start to look down here at this area right here. If you look at this little section over here, you'll see that this is where we also reached our top. I'm going to pull back to a lower time frame so we can take a look at that. Some sort of a little bear flag in here also. But right over here, that's where we topped. Right there. before you know, doing this bear flaggy type situation. We got this little bounce up, and if I mean, it's so many ways to draw this out, but usually it's either going to be from the wicks or the body for me. And we were bouncing here, and yeah, that's gone. And now we're attempting to hold our lows once again before, again, like I said, we may end up down here somewhere. This is where the liquidity is. So I don't know if we're gonna if we lose this section right here, if we're gonna bounce off of that VWAP and that golden pocket and that ascending trend line, or if we're gonna drop down to take the liquidity from this low right here. If we're taking the liquidity from this low, I mean, as long as we're leaving a wick behind, then great. If not, then I'm going to be looking a little bit lower for price action in here. It just, sadly, sadly, it is what it is. Now we got the 4 hour coming back down. Well, at least the delta is rolling back down below the zero line. Now we know that the 4 hour time frame had been bearish because the MACD is confirming that we're basically just in this bearish range since our drop from since our rejection from here. A daily time frame is no different. As the delta is attempting to come up, and a couple of other things I can see too. And we're putting in a squeeze now on the daily time frame, which is a squeeze that typically breaks to the upside, but not going anywhere just yet. And yeah, just not going anywhere just yet. You take a look here. This was also our little rejection area right there. But if you look here at the RSI, you can see like we're still in between this point, which is this low right in here, and this point right here, which is this low right in here. So we're still just walking this trail in between here, not actually getting that momentum shift to the upside yet. We started in here. We started and we just rolled back over, and so we're just continuing to do this in here. I haven't noticed any bullish divergence either. I know on Friday we played a short position on Bitcoin on Friday morning, and I was saying that we could get that bullish divergence on the 1 hour, but we did not confirm bullish divergence on the 1 hour. And I've heard someone speak about that. And I'm gonna go back to the charts over there. I just want newbies or people who really don't understand technical analysis to understand that we did not put in the bullish divergence here on the 1 hour time frame. We did not. We played what short was it? We played this short right here. We played the short over here, and we were looking for price action to confirm the bullish divergence here. But the only way price action could confirm the bullish divergence is either price action. We were looking for price action to put in a lower low against this close over here. So divergence is based on closes and not wicks. Wicks are SFPs. Wicks are range highs and range lows, so they're pivots, okay? But a divergence is based on where price action closes at. So we would have had to see a closure below here, which we did not get because you can see we closed up here, or we would have needed to see the oscillator actually close lower, and we did not get that. So we'll turn this down again, and you can see right here that this is higher than this high over here, and that matches perfectly with the oscillator. So we did not get the bullish divergence right here. Now you can claim it off of this indicator right here, but in terms of the RSI, we did not get any bullish divergence. We didn't get it, and a lot of people do heavily rely on RSI for divergence. I will use something like this right here also myself, but for the most part, we most indicators did not show any sort of bullish divergence, but we did move with the tendency. Like you can see the strength remain in the RSI as price action was getting the drop. Now that you could identify, but actual bullish divergence being confirmed there. Most oscillators didn't confirm any bullish divergence, so you were lucky if you had one that did. All right, I'm gonna take a look here at the monthly at the monthly time frame. All right, so here we are on our monthly. So we know that we've been inside of this parallel channel here. I just want to talk about this case where a lot of people are looking for lower down here. Now, can this break? Absolutely. It can break. This ascending trend line from this low down here is not that old. I actually have mine against the parallel anyway. So it's the one that matches with the parallel. It's the one that held price action on this drop right here. It's close enough to claim it right here, but we didn't. We just absolutely hit the VWAP in here on this monthly time frame before we got to bounce away. So this is something to watch for. This is just something to watch for on a more aggressive push to the downside is this trend line holding here again and not breaking below this trend line and getting down here to take liquidity down here in the 50,000 or 35,000, whatever the numbers are that you're hearing across X. Now, can those numbers happen? Absolutely. But I just want you to be aware of a scenario where we could also see a bounce from the bottom side of this channel and not go lower than that. Okay, so that there is a case for that. There is a case for that. Or if anything, maybe you just see a wick. Maybe you just see a wick and maybe we catch that VWAP again. And this VWAP right here is the VWAP that connects this trend line because the channel drawn from this wick to this wick right here and then placed on this low right here. And then this is how we get that bounce up, and then we come sniff close enough to it, but not enough to actually touch it and bounce off of that VWAP. I did go back to just kind of see like what VWAP was like in the past, and I think I had shared that at one point here on the channel. Also, I may not have that in here anymore, but I can tell you right now that price action did tend to go below the VWAP as opposed to holding it. But I'm just going to take that out of the equation and just look at the analysis in here, just the market structure alone, because it worked in here. So maybe another time. This is one too. If this trend line has any validity to it, then price action could just come back into here and then bounce away from it and not break lower. Because we didn't tap it here. We know that. We can see it clearly. We didn't tap it on this drop. Maybe we could. And we don't take out this low. And then we bounce away and we continue up. But maybe, I mean, I don't know what the case is going to be for here, for how high we go. Not at this point. I don't know. I don't know because I'm really not liking the 3-month chart. And I've talked about the 3-month time frame before because I know that we broke the we did two things on that 3-month time frame. We did a back test and we also did a break. So and take a look at the 3-month time frame here. So here on the 3-month time frame, just like what we're seeing over on the 1-month time frame, we have this situation right here, where if you just drop a ray on here and connect these two lows, then you have this break right here, which happened in 2022, and then during our pump. Our bull market run for, I guess what we ended this in 2025. So a bull market run that ended in 2025, you can see we actually looks like we broke back into it right here, and then we back tested one more time, and then we got the rejection from there. All right, and then if I were to move this and put it here, just for the sake of it, you can see this is the one where we actually broke. Now, I've shown this one right here where we broke before, but I haven't shown the one where we actually done the back test before. So this is the one where we actually got this breakdown. This is a very, very, very scary chart for me. It's a very scary chart, especially considering the fact that it's a lot of eyes on the stock market right now. A lot of capital is rolling out of Bitcoin, out of crypto in general, and going into the stock market because people are seeing how much money they're able to make in the stock market. Like if you're in anything tech, like you have made massive gains and you're just not getting that same volatility out of Bitcoin right now. And we know that we understand that there is a 365, 360, 364 day bear market that Bitcoin goes through after every 3 years of pumping and rallying. Okay. So we understand that. If you've been in the crypto space, you know that. So to really compare Bitcoin in this bear market to the stock market is like stupid, in my opinion. There's no need in comparing Bitcoin in its bear market to the stock market while the stock market is rallying. There's no sense in doing that. It just isn't. But a lot of people who don't really know any better are comparing the two, and you are able to make a lot more money in the stock market right now. So a lot of capital is rotating into the stock market because right now the stock market is booming, tech is booming, um and Bitcoin is just in its bear market, and once it comes out of its bear market, it'll get its glory again. um but this chart does scare me because it could get real ugly real quick if we get to a narrative where more people start to believe that Bitcoin is dead. But we are just in our bear market, but it could get ugly real quick. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about right here. I did look at this against let's see, the last time it had a trend line like this and it broke, it was back over here. It's only been two on this 3-month time frame. So we had this one here. We'll set that there and put this on this line right here. So we had this one here where we broke down, we came back up, we back tested, we rejected, and then we never reached this point right here again. We faded out. We faded out in here. So this is around the time where you had a lot of influencers calling for 100,000, and it would have made sense. It would have made sense. So if you've been one of those people, or you heard of other people give them flack about calling for 100,000, it would have made sense looking at this trend line through here, seeing how price action reacted to it before, and then getting the pump up and thinking, okay, yeah, we can get to 100,000 right now. That makes sense to claim that. It makes sense. But we didn't manage to get higher, which means momentum started to slow down in here. After taking the high over here, momentum started to slow down in here, and then we just absolutely rejected. And the same thing goes for where we are right now. It goes for where we are right now. And I've drawn this out in lots of different ways to try to find to actually not see this break. And it doesn't matter how I do it, the break is still there. If I do it from a line bias, the break is still there. It doesn't matter at all. So, I mean, that's what we're facing right now here. But I still go back to that 1 month time frame, and just say that there could still be a chance where we absolutely do not break lower, and we hold the bottom side of the channel. Maybe we wick it a little bit, but we hold the bottom side of this channel, and then we bounce away from here. There's still a chance. Still a chance. In the 3-month time frame, that candle is still green while it is. While it is, thank goodness, it's still green. We're still in here. We still have a positive RSI on the monthly time frame. So it is still positive at the moment. Hasn't flipped to a negative. It's not rising, but it hasn't flipped negative just yet. So it's still purple. So that's decent. This is the only time here where price action actually dropped below the um, the negative 100 on the CC. This is the only time that ever happened right here. Every other time you can see that price action actually bounced away from that point. And the same thing goes right here when we look at the historical base for a bounce from Bitcoin. This has been the historical base for a bounce, and you can see we bounce. You can see this is the one time right here. Actually, it's not the one time because it does actually grace below it right here ever so slightly. But this is the one time where it actually deviates further away from it right here. Instead of doing a little light sweep right there, we got more of a drop there before we came back up. And then you can see the one right here at our current low, which was the $60,000 low right here. And like I said, still positive here on the RSI. Down, it's turned down, but we are still positive. So we didn't get that close either. That's another thing. But right now, it just might those other numbers just may not happen. They may not happen. I'm still keeping them in mind that they could happen, but they may not happen, and we could just see price action holding there. So it's some things down in there that I'm looking at here on the higher time frame. Um, that could give credit to why we're still moving absolutely slow. Like while we're still consolidating, maybe we're not planning on going lower. Maybe we're trying to fix some things and we're not going to go lower than that. And I think here also, is that the one time? It looks like it is. Is this the one time where we actually break? That year was so different. That bear market there was different. It was just different. It was a lot happening in the crypto space with the SEC, um, all of these exchanges capitulating. We had, you know, this was different. This was just different. And it shows how different it was in comparison. It just shows how different it was. The weakness that we got in that bear market, it doesn't have to be the weakness that we get in this one. It wasn't the weakness that we got back here, or I mean, right in here. It wasn't the weakness that we got there. It wasn't the same weakness over here. It's not it. This was different. We've been talking about how this time could be different, but this time could actually be the same as the times before. And this is the one that was different. This one was absolutely different. And our rally to the upside was different because for the first time we got a president that was that supported our space, and he brought people into his cabinet that support our space. But this could just be the same. So this could just be the same to the prior times, and this is the only one that was different. That was different. That was different. But this was definitely different right here. But I don't. This is a bullish divergence here on the monthly time frame also. This is bullish divergence, bullish momentum. on this 1 month time frame. It doesn't look like it because we got that candle close right there. It's not the first one that we've seen like that, and then price continue higher. So it's not the end all be all. See Bitcoin. Um, see if we're gonna get this drop in here. Or if we're gonna keep trying to hold here. See Hyperliquid. Had a nice run over the weekend. So that was great. SPY is pushing up. I saw that SPY had gapped up. See SPY gapped up in here. Let me just take this right here. Still grinding its way higher. You're not stopping SPY, that's for sure. Not right now. I don't. Yeah. The higher time frame is it's smashing. It looks great on the higher time frame. It's these lower time frames. I'm gonna try to stay a little bit away from the lower time frames, but again, Bitcoin tends to move pretty well with it. We won't know until the market opens because right now you can see Bitcoin is trying to fall off a cliff. So and I keep seeing some signs in here that are just not following through. It's simply just not following through. It looks like we're putting in bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin right now, even as we're getting this little drop to the downside here. We are putting in some bullish divergence. That has actually been confirmed on the 4-hour. Bullish divergence has been confirmed on the 4-hour. It can be invalidated with the right drop, but we have to confirm bullish divs. About 1:21 on this next candle closure here. I don't believe that we have any squeezes in here. Yeah, we do. The one that's on the 4-hour time frame is the squeeze that we have. I wonder if this could be. I watched this all. I glanced at it a couple of times over the weekend. The squeeze that we have on the 4-hour time frame. I was actually excited about the squeeze because we had that, and we also had. We have an inside range on the daily time frame, which is still holding up, I think. At least it looked like it was still holding up. Which would be the sweep of this liquidity from this low right here. But we do have this inside range. Let me change this to a base. We do have this inside range right here. I'm actually just going to sink this into my lower time frames. Add it to this interval and below, and then I'm going to sink it. And I'll drop down and see what that looks like. Uh-oh. What's going on with my stream? it is lagging. And then again, I was having that little issue earlier. So let's get rid of this. we have nothing down through here. You can see how we were holding through here. Ay, 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 ay. Uh-oh. I don't know what just happened. My screen just absolutely disappeared. It didn't show on your end, I can tell. Maybe it'll pop in, maybe it won't. It didn't show from your end though. Thank goodness. Okay. So yeah, you can see why we were kind of holding through here over the weekend before getting this little breakdown here on Biddy. And then, like I said, we're in this inside range. Okay, now you can see it from your end. We're in this inside range, and this is that inside, that mother bar candle low. So maybe we could take that liquidity or something like that. I was looking for us to do like a 3 inside up. So I was kind of bullish on the idea of the 4-hour squeeze, hoping that it would get a break to the upside. Every time it went up there, it didn't have any success of breaking out, obviously. And yeah, it had some nice bottom and tails off of the daily time frame. Also, if you notice those nice bottom and tails off of the daily, I think I'm gonna play with this a little bit right here, just a little bit. Thank you. Pardon this noise. Oh boy. Give myself a little bit of caffeine, only a little bit. Get it from this diet soda. I was drinking some coffee over the weekend and oof, I felt awful. I had too much caffeine. I felt awful. So I just added a little something to the Bitcoin long I already have. Just tapping back down into here. Just add a little something. Not because I don't think that we can absolutely roll over. I'm still looking for that to be a possibility here, down into this area right here. I'm feeling a little risky, a little risque right now. And there's no place like the lows to do it. There's no place like the lows to, if you weren't already, if you didn't do the SFP drop from Friday, there's no place like this to do it, to take a long entry. At least your risk is defined, or wait and see if we don't get down here and take this liquidity, and if we can't bounce from that level right here. Since we did not sweep the high, we could very well sweep this low and then go. And liquidity is the name of the game right now. As I've said, since we've been rolling over, I would not take anything unless some liquidity was taken. And we did that a few times across here. We do have the squeeze on the 15-minute time frame also, so we have some compression on the 15 as well. But we are it just looks like such overkill off that 4-hour. It really does. Like I said, I'm taking some risk right here because we're at the place to take the risk if you wanted to take some risk on a long position. But we do have bullish divergence in here as well. So you can see right here, drop that, increase this right here so you can see. Right here, we have bullish divergence also. Doesn't make it play out. Doesn't make it play out, but that's different. And that's confirmed because we're well below this low close. We closed below here on the prior 4-hour candle. We closed and confirmed bullish divergence right here with this one. I think that when we looked at this on Friday, because I know that we looked at the possibility of this earlier on Friday, and it was just down in here. So I'm just gonna take this one off the chart. I'm gonna try to eat my little breakfast at the same time. Wow. All right, so while Bitcoin makes its attempt to kind of hold in here, as if that expansion on that 4-hour doesn't, roll us over. But while it does, let me take a look at Hyperliquid. Yeah, Hyperliquid. I think the last time where we left off at was, geez, are we still in the same place? I can't tell because I don't have any drawings on. Where were we? I redrew that, so I thought I didn't need that. Did we? Huh. Oh, it would help me be on the 4-hour. There we go. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm confused. Okay, so we did get into here. Well, we got a small reaction at the one that I initially was looking at for us. And then finally we pushed into that 786 hit retracement, almost coming into that ascending trend line up there. Which this line I had did back when I did do it. Yeah. We had already discussed all of this. Yeah, we had already discussed all of this on Friday and about a day or two prior to Friday as well. But as far as this part right here goes, we talked about this a while before that. As I was looking, I was looking for this, but we started to stall out right in here. So I dropped it to here. And then we went back to discussing the possibility of um, coming back into it and then looking for price action to get up there to that trend line. So yeah, everything in here is holding up. Hyperliquid, boy, if you wanted to make some money, this was the place to get it right here. Most hyperliquid. And like I said, even if it did come down here and sweep out this flow, I wouldn't have thought anything of it, but maybe that I had my count wrong or something like that. And it was just still in a wave four, something like that. But this is what I'll be looking for. And if it does manage to get past, where it is now, then we just put on a one to one in here. But ugh, wow, that was good. Let me see what we look like down here. Um, this looks about right. This looks about right. Now we'll be doing something different, I would say, if momentum does take out this top right here. Then I wouldn't be able to classify this as the three anymore. We probably have an extended move, but this looks right. This looks absolutely right. Looks good for this to be a rejection point. To put in a corrective move in here, but I don't see anything foul, nothing at all. That would have been our reaction point, which matched up with that 786. Was trying to chop it. I just go back to looking for another long. So after correction, start to look for another long. I would not be looking to short. Not right now. Not on hype. But yeah, no need to look for a short on this one. Just continuation. It did get a little worrisome in here. But I will be looking for the correction and then for another long position in here before we do start to see this thing turn around, because it looks like it's going to get there on this 4 hour time frame. Looks like it could. But because the MACD is all the way up here, any pullbacks is going to be a correction and then a continuation. That's why in here, to continue to look for continuation, because MACD is well above your zero. Anytime your MACD is well above your zero, everything else is going to be corrective. That's why this became a little bit, made you a little bit, but all of that looked corrective at the time. Looking at it, that all looked corrective. So got that final little boost up there. Look for another correct move. I was looking for a position on BNB over the weekend. I was waiting for it to push back down into the 382 50% retracement, but by the time it did it, I was asleep. Now I woke up this morning and I see this nasty little wick on it right now, but I woke up this morning, it was like, as I was watching it over here, I hide that. I was looking, through screening, trying to find a bunch of different altcoins and things like that I might want to take a trade on, just to make a little bit of capital, since Bitcoin wasn't doing too much. And then I stumbled upon BNB, and I was like, as soon as it get down in here, I'm gonna take it. Why? Because the daily It was the daily. I think it was the daily for BNB. Let me see. No, it was this one. It was the 4 hour. I like this. So it was like, look for it to come back into the 382 50% retracement. Take the long off of this right here because more than likely it's going to be corrective and then it's going to bounce up. But I missed it. I missed it. And this was a mean reversion as well. So I was looking, that's why I was looking at that one or this one. They both were a mean reversion, just depending on how you, what your look back time is. But this is the actual 14 mean reversion right here. So I was looking for that and god dang it, it happened and I missed it. This was one that looked pretty decent for, it was BNB, Tron. Um, I did take an algo long and algo was kind of rough, but it worked. And I took an algo loan because the algo's weekly. Was it weekly or the daily? No, it's the daily. I think it was the daily. But you can see right here that I did take an algo loan. Of course, I was on this 15-minute time frame. It didn't reach all the way up here to this TP right here, but I closed it out right there because I was like, it may not make it. It may not make it all the way. I did TP all three of these, and then I closed it. I closed it right in here, somewhere between these highs. I ended up closing it out. So, man, I should have been playing the short on this thing. I'll tell you the truth. That's what I should have been doing. Playing a short on it. I would get interested again. I'm not gonna do it right here. I should go in the pocket. Because I was playing a daily range of support right here. I haven't even moved these. Let me move this to its proper place. And I put that back. I was trying to get to there. It goes like that now. Yeah, the little pink box in here is the was a daily level low, which is why I took that trade there. I think I had also took an expansion move in here or something, but yeah. I'm so not tempted. Stick with Bitcoin. So not tempted on this, but I had a screener over here where you can see I was basically looking for what was what is this? This is the daily. Yeah. I was using the daily to see where was something I could find like a long position on the pullback retracement, and that's why I ended up taking this one right here. And then I started to look, like I said, I started looking for BNB to do the same thing because it showed up and Tron showed up. I didn't realize that ZEC was showing up in here, but it turns out it is. Take a look at Zcash. H bar. There's quite a few of them in here that you could have caught a pullback on. This is a very handy tool to use if you you know. And again, like I said, with this one, I'm gonna delete it so I can just take you through it. So you want to do add a filter. I'm gonna do a technical filter. And in this case, if I'm looking for something where I can get a pullback, and the reason why I look for loans is because you don't have to use leverage. You don't have to use leverage. So if you're somebody that don't like to use leverage, which is awesome, if you don't, then you would do this. And so I'm looking for the moving average convergence divergence. This is the one that I chose to use, was this one right here, just to find corrective moves. And then I went with the one where the it's above, so your bullish momentum right here. This is the above zero. This is supposed to be the one where you're crossing above, but I learned when I click on this one right here, um, most of the time it's already above it. But this one right here is instead of starting to cross up, it could be well above it. So I just went with the one that reads bullish momentum here. And this is why I explained to you too. Like, see, they know people who be in. Like, never mind, I'm not gonna get into all that. But this one right here, and then that gives me, some options of some things that I could look at in here. And that's why I was checking out BNB, for that very reason. For that pullback. And I just went to my own BNB chart because it's going to show you the crypto ones. But that's what you do there. You're trying to find you something to trade. You want to wait on a good pullback. You just wait on a good pullback because it's going to work out. Most likely it is going to work out. Let me take a look at, hold on, why both of these on that? Hold on. And that's on BNB. I don't want this to be on BNB. Let me take a look at ZEC since it showed up over there. Same thing. I guess we didn't do anything different in here on Zcash. We were in between the golden pocket 786. Got above VWAP, is back testing it now. Rejection from our weekly average range level there. No, this is just an average one. This is one I typically, I put it on the chart because it is relevant, but it's secondary, which is why it doesn't have the weekly in front of it. A little rejection there. Pretty clean rejection. Yeah, this is lower high possibility. Yeah, this is what we were looking for, the lower high and then continuation down into this level. So I'm still gonna be looking right here unless for some reason it changes its mind and swoops up. But right now, this look like this could be coming to an end over here for Zcash. We already were expecting that, but we got that little bounce off of that 786. At 786 there for that push up. But yeah, I'm still looking here at this we'll just call it 450 to around 404 here. And then I see how I feel from that point. Still looks decent here on the weekly time frame. To get one more, a drop and then a bounce or a lower high for the weekly. So it's not bad. It's not shabby. It's not shabby. This garbage, I hate it. It won't stop. It won't stop. But I hate it. It's not even close enough. So, like I said before with this one, they could, do a rising formation through here until it finally drops. But the more it consolidates, the more likely it will dump. It's just not all the way there yet. Definitely not all the way there yet. What else was there? There was TRX, which the last place I had some analysis on for Tron. Let me look back at the daily. Let me just see it personally. So this was probably a 382 fib retracement on this one also. Nope, a lot steeper. So a lot steeper. Trying to see why I got all these markers in here that I won't be able to see. I won't be able to see any of that. Bitcoin is failing. The only thing I can say that I did not like about Tron or BNB is right through here, because you have a lower low right through here before this pump right here. So I've never been one to trust Tron. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm one that trusts it now. That's more like the 382 right there. See, this just looks corrective. You just don't have a higher low. So that's problematic. I don't know if I want to trade Tron. I'm gonna look at it though. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. More so back around this high right here. That would be a mean reversion for it. So if I were to take something on it, 32 right in here would be the place that I would probably want to get into it. So 50% retracement back here. Yeah, that works for me if I decide. Yeah, if I decided it would have to be something like this. That was yeah. If I were to take something on Tron, it would have to be right here. And I have to come back and see what it looks like at that point. But that seems to be a good entry right in here. Since it did not put in a higher low. Anyway, I look for a liquidity sweep on it before entering a long. We'll see. I'm not gonna stretch it all the way just yet. Haven't looked at this one in a while. XLM. It's been that long. Last year. It's been that long. I haven't looked at this since last year. This is where we're at. Perfect. 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 I'm gonna pull some of these out. I won't try to capture them all, but some. And usually I just look at the high and the low, but I like to do it as a box. So I look at the high and the low. Unless I add a little center line in between it, that means there was a lot happening in that area. I guess I am trying to drag them all out. Yep, and that's as low as I got in here on XLM. I got some other ones, but it looks like I turned them off. Let me see what's going on here. Unless I separated them. Oh, okay, I just separated the lines and the boxes. All right, so obviously XLM did come up and hit some resistance here. Why Crypto YT, good morning. I was explaining that I did not get a chance to go over and change anything with the channel name and all of that good stuff because I just didn't get around to doing it. And I'm not feeling too well. Personally, I'm just really, my body is so exhausted. I'm trying to hang in, but my body's really exhausted. I was all lightheaded and stuff on Saturday. Yeah, it's very light. And I think it had a lot to do with the caffeine too. So caffeining it down a little bit right now. But you clearly hit resistance here on XLM. Probably also hit maybe like some extended long-term moving average, like a 400 or something like that. I would, oh, no, 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 no. Not on this daily. You most certainly did not. Hmm. So this had a successful squeeze or something. Let me look at it on a weekly. It's looking like this and looking like that. And looking like that. Good Lord. Is that what's happening? Did it have a squeeze and it broke out from that squeeze? I'm curious. I can't tell. Let's start here. What is that? It did. Had a squeeze and a successful breakout. Wouldn't it be nice if everything else was that way? Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. Yeah. Where can you get in on this thing? Right now, it would have to. Right now, I just don't see a good place to get in on it. Huh. It is ranging, consolidating on the inside bar. Let me see. I'll turn that back on in just a minute. Let me see, because I actually like this a lot. I like this a lot. It's a little bit too low of a time frame, but on a 2 hour. Let's see what this is. Mm, Let me see if this was our 382 retracement first. It was a 38250 retracement right here. Okay. I mean, that retracement's already been missed, right? It happened over the weekend. Dang. It's already been missed. Sadness. Huh. I suppose that's what I would look for next, but this thing might continue higher. Yeah, it's going to be exactly right there. Right into that 786. Probably won't get another chance until it gets past that. I don't really like this structure. Don't really like that. I'm not gonna worry about that part. Just got the horizontals in here anyway. I don't really like this part, but this looks pretty good. Uh-oh, my computer just did that crazy thing again. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me see what this was. What it was. This thing is gone. That was crazy to move right there. Oh, I don't know how many more times my PC is gonna do that flashing. I don't even know why it's doing it. Maybe it was supposed to reset some stuff over the weekend and it didn't work out. Oh my gosh, if it keeps doing, I'm gonna have to end this. This is weird. Yeah, there's no solid entry on this thing. You be taking risk in here, but it's still very expanded outside of standard deviation too on the weekly time frame. So it might not come back in. I think you probably just consider this to be a little bit too late. You don't have a good place to put an invalidation. Maybe down below here. That's pretty far off in my opinion, since it is putting in these higher lows, but I wouldn't want to advise you to do it around resistance though, because you're already resistance block right here at this resistance zone. So maybe we'll see if it continues to, you know, shape shift right here and then come back to this if it's going to continue to look that good. That looks nice. What is this? Never heard of this. I hate when it don't show you, like you scroll over it and you can't tell what it is. No ton H bar. Near. I start to look at Aster. Aster. But some of these could be coming to an end stage also. Can always find something to short. Doesn't have to be something to long, but longs you don't have to use leverage once again. So I just like to look at that. I don't think I have ton in my little portfolio over here. And it seems that I don't have ton. So I don't have any levels for it. This must have been recent, but I don't know. I don't recall. I can throw some stuff on the chart. See it from a monthly. I'm just gonna drop a few quick lines in here. I'm not gonna do anything special. Just want to drop a few quick lines. Just want to get the main swings. That's it. I'll probably go back and take that first one, drop it down. This was a good swing right here. It's a good swing right there. What? that little liquidity right in there. Looks like a 618 bounce already happened in here. Dang it, Bitcoin. This one retraced way too far for me to feel bullish off of it. I can't. Yeah, that came way too far. If it had held, if it had held a shallow retracement, then it would be different. But this retrace, this gave a deep retracement. It's a really deep retracement. I can't feel bullish on that. I'm gonna have to check back on Bitcoin too, because it is. So I wouldn't mess with that. I don't know why I got lines on top of lines. It might have been one of those days where I was having issues with my chart and couldn't get anything to pull up and had to go in and just do something real quick. Could have been one of those days. Yeah, that looks terrible too. This is all weekend stuff. That actually looks good to accumulate a little bit. That looks pretty good. It'd be one of those situations like AVAX, though, unfortunately. But this actually looks really good. Let's see if we did drop back. I guess you don't want to really lose the 20 SMA, but if it did drop back, and hold right in here. It's worth it. Or to just buy a little bit right in here. This looks really good. It hasn't broken out yet, which is nice. Be looking for it to break to the upside, obviously. And we still, no, we lost that squeeze. Oh, it basically did what some of the other charts were doing, where it got the pump and then it failed, but it just didn't have a continuation when it tried to expand. It just didn't work out the first time, but that looks good. It looks really nice. H bar. I wonder if that was supposed to have been the bear market lows. Let me just check. Oh, it could go lower if it wanted to. Okay, I just wanted to see that. Yeah, it can go much lower if it wanted to. But that actually looks good. I know we caught this the last time. Yeah, we caught this the last time. I can't remember if it was this one or if it was right over in here. I'm not sure if it was there or if it was here, but I know that we caught this the last time. It could have been this one right here. Could have been this drop right here. I don't know, but we did catch a long, took a leverage long position on H bar the last pump, and it may have been this one. It may have been this one. So see if we can repeat that again. I actually like it from where it is right in here. I need for it to come down a little bit more, since it did get that nice little rejection right there. So if it does come back down here into one of these levels right here, at least the 989 .089, if it did that, then I will take a long position off of this and look to ride it up. It can come lower if it wants to, but I like this. And for me, again, it would have to come back into here, do something like that. That looks like a lot, but it will be spot, so it won't be a lot. It will not be a lot, because it will be spot. And pull it up a little bit more charismatically. Boom, boom. Something like that. And I know that we weren't getting past wherever VWAP is at, and VWAP is somewhere in between here, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's fine. I wasn't looking at it like that. Hold on, where were we at? I'm at VWAP. VWAP is there. I know that we ended up taking profits somewhere across here, assuming that it won't actually take out the high. I'm just going to make an assumption that it won't take out the high. I look forward to push back into 27. But I like this. I can increase this low a little bit more. I can, because you don't want it to actually, yeah, so that can be increased even more. This looks like fire right here, boy. And if I don't get that entry, I will play the Bollinger Band breakout strategy on it, and then just have to minimize that stop loss. But this looks good. Got a clean Bollinger strategy right here. Got a clean breakout strat right there. Got a clean one right here as well, which didn't go too far. This one was not as clean, but nonetheless, she didn't come back down, so that was good. And then you can see this one didn't work out too healthy right there. Another clean one right over here. So yeah, I will play that Bollinger strategy breakout if it doesn't come back into here right now. We still got a ways to get up. We're just at a 30 right now. So got time, but this looks good. H bar. That way you're not holding it for several weeks to come or whatever. You can look for that on it. Let's see. Bitcoin still trying to hold a support level. Fifteen minutes only time frame is trying to flatten out. We're not trying to flatten out anywhere else, even though we do have that bullish divergence on that 4 hour. We're still not trying to flatten out. Not showing it on the 1 hour either. And I really, for the life of me, don't understand what's going on with the daily, because it really, yep. Got that all wrong. Mm. In terms of timing. And keep my eyes on this H bar though. Ooh, baby. Ooh. Ooh. Let me see what else you've done. H bar. See what else you've done. It's from a weekly. What else is common about you? Had the little bull div on the weekly and all of that. Seems about how it started every time. Let's see, you got the bull div here. So it does have the bull div here. Right before it looks to break out, puts in the bullish divergence right there. It put in bullish divergence right here too. I noticed that. And then it put in, looked like it put in bullish divergence right here as well. But let me check this one. No, it didn't put it in right there. So that one it did not do. So my bad on that. But it did put in bullish divergence right here. It put in the bullish div right here. I guess those might have been the only two times it put in the bullish divergence. Should get that pullback. That's a little bear div. I don't know. You could claim it down here if you wanted to. You can claim it right here, but okay, back up. My bad. I like that chart though. I don't know if near, I know we had saw near hit resistance the last time. I don't know if it tried to come back up or not. Just know that it had hit some resistance, and we said that that could have been a top forward, or not a top, but fourth wave in here before it tries to continue up, because near ended up tapping out right there at that trend line there, which we spotted off of a little late. Don't make me draw this line again, please, because I'm not in the mood to try to figure out where I get stuff from. Okay, yeah, there it is. It was from here. So over the weekend, it dropped into that 50% retracement. And it looks like the continuation shall come. So I guess that's not going to be something to have to worry about. I don't know if I want to do that like that. Or just go from here. I go from here. Don't know that I like it. Well, guess so. I guess so. A question. Is this line up here like that? Question how likely this is. It was more resistance than just this right here, but this looks pretty good right now. On a shallow retracement, the formation looks very corrective for continuation to the upside. The only thing is nothing. No, that's still good. That is still good. The only thing is that there was more resistance than just that trend line up here at the top, but this looks like this could be our zone right here. If you were interested in getting into a long position on this, I would set the stop loss down below here, unless you can get a little bit of a retracement back in, a little bit more of a retracement back in on it. Otherwise, spot is the suggestion for these altcoins that are trying to do these breakouts. I do suggest spot. That way you're not risking a lot on anything. And I would be looking forward to I actually don't look for it to stall. I don't look for it to stall out at the golden pocket, but it is an area of interest. I personally would be looking forward to at least come into here to about 347 personally, um, since that is the next range in between the space in here would be here, and then possibly that 786 there. If you can get it, yeah, if you can get it in here, then that'd be a lot better because then you can manage the risk on it a little bit more with a spot position, and then look forward to at least push back up into there. I know on the was it the daily time frame? Or was it the weekly? I think it may have been the weekly. think it was the weekly. Yeah, it was the weekly. So you see all of this. I don't like any of this right here. I don't like any of this part right here. All of these moving averages that are spread like this, I don't like it. I don't like what the rejection candle looked like afterwards. I don't like that. After he got that push into that trend line right there, I don't like that. So yeah, I don't like that part. I don't like any of those factors right there when it comes to near. Maybe it could consolidate a lot longer since it did get that nasty little candle right there. Perhaps it could consolidate a little bit longer. And normally I don't put on the golden pocket in this case, but golden pocket can be tapped in this case. So it could, shape shift on that little pattern that it has in here. Before it can actually see a nice little breakout to the upside or continuation move to the upside. Those are things I don't like right in here. Yep, those were the things that I didn't like when we looked at it. Yeah, so maybe it needs a little bit more time to range in here. Maybe it needs a little bit more time because we don't have anything else to go off besides looking at the lower time frame and saying, "Hey, we did a shallow bounce in here at this 50% retracement." But like I said, there's still a chance that it could come down into here on the bullish side again. It did a shallow retracement. It has a corrective formation on the chart, which could break to the upside and continue to push prices higher. I just don't. These are the only things that I don't like. I don't like the spread in here. I don't like this candle following hitting that resistance trend line right here from what looks like a megaphone or something like that, descending megaphone pattern or something. I don't like that part. Yeah, I do like the indecision in here though, following behind that big push down. I like the indecision that's coming in. I like the shallow retracement. I like the wedging formation in here. I don't like the rest of it. So perhaps you may want to give it some time. Yeah, we still haven't broken that squeeze yet either. It doesn't have to break it right now, but we still haven't broken that yet either, which would put it back at a mean reversion on the daily time frame, which is the golden pocket. Yep, that would be the lowest you would want to see it go, would be that mean reversion back into this golden pocket. That would be the lowest you want to see it go, because otherwise it's going to mess up whatever is reading in here for that push up. I got some spot near. I haven't added to it. Or maybe you want to take a chance if it tries to break out and then stop loss back inside of the range. Is this squeezing? Let me see that. Does it have a squeeze right in here? It looks like it does, and it looks like that squeeze is trying to break to the downside. Nope, not exactly. Got low volatility, so it could break out and then not be able to push up higher. You could see it break out and then it stall out right before this candle right here and then get messed up. So I'm just gonna do this because it could attempt to break out and then it fails right there, only to hit one of those numbers right there and then reject. That could happen. Just saying. As you can see right here, it keeps trying to expand down, but it hasn't really been successful. And it might have hooked back up with Bitcoin. Mhm. I know virtuals is heavily tied to Bitcoin, so it has been holding its lows the same way Bitcoin has. So once Bitcoin breaks and loses its lows, then virtual will probably break too and be looking for virtuals to come back down here anywhere towards this ascending trend line, or basically 64 to 62 for Birch. All right, Bitcoin's taking that liquidity, it looks like. Let's see if we just gonna do a liquidity sweep and then get this bounce up. Not looking too good. Not looking too good though. See if we can't get an SFP. If we don't, then we're gonna have to look down here towards that golden pocket, that VWAP and that ascending trend line. So without the SFP, you got nothing. Okay, nothing to touch without the SFP, and we got to look down here. Hello there. Estamos real. Do you think we're going much lower? It looks like we trying to. That actually wasn't an SFP. We actually closed below that. Even with the 4-hour, it looks like we closed below it. Yeah, we closed below that. Yep. Let it roll on over then. If you were wanting to, I didn't um, take an interest in the short, but I know that we were still expanding on the 4 hour, even with the bullish divergence, still expanding. So if you did take a short, I would set my stop loss right above um, that standard deviation. Um, Ooh, you would have to set it up kind of high actually, because it could come back in and wick you out. But yeah, we are still outside of standard deviation 2 right here. So if you did do it, then I would probably set it on that close right there. A little risky right there, but yeah, that's it. You have to set it on that close right there if it's going to make its way down into here. So it would have to look like where it is now, that's going to be a lot. It's a 0.75, and then you're not even guaranteed that it's going to go too much further. Possibly could take the liquidity right here. Could take this liquidity. Actually, it's a lot lower on the liquidity drop. Could take this liquidity right here. That gives you a 3-to-1, but ugh. I know I was looking for a nest, looking for it to actually give us. I thought maybe it could fail, but doesn't look like it will. Dang it. Yeah, we are overextended on this 15-minute time frame. We are overextended. At some point, we will push back into that 20, but we are overextended here on the 15-minute. 30, 29. This looks awful. Bitcoin looks awful. Maybe exercise patience and open along after it trickles down. Yeah, I'm not taking a short. Um, Personally, I'm waiting because I did end up adding in here. Looking forward to either hold or just do a SFP right here, which we didn't get the SFP. We got that closure. I know the next place to actually want to enter into a long position is going to be in here at the golden pocket, VWAP, ascending trend line. And then it's another support level, and it has a nice shelf of volume right in here as well. So this is the next place to really want to deploy some capital um, for actual setup. This is the gamble short for the continuation into this area right here, which again I'm not in. It's an idea, and just saying that if you do take it, then your stop would want to be have your stop in here, since this is the area right here that continued the acceleration to the downside here for it to get that drop into here. And if it manages to take liquidity in here, then it will come a little bit lower than the area of interest, but for long for potential support. But it has a pretty good shelf of support right through here. If I turn, let me take away the Bollinger. I can see the expansion nicely. But actually, yeah, so you got this shelf of support right in here where the VWAP is and where the golden pocket entry takes place. If we do the liquidity sweep, we could actually run through it here a little bit more. I still define this as a low of support because it is on the daily time frame. It actually is a low of support. May not get the same amount, but it is a low of support right here on this daily, right in here. So the sweep would actually have to hold if we did the SFP on that, on this sweep of liquidity. But a lot of eyes are on this right now, so I don't know. A lot of eyes are on it. And then honestly, when you take out a mother bar, when you break down from a mother bar, the expectation is that it doesn't come back into the breakdown low. And that's why we was looking for the SFP to see if we couldn't do that, but we closed below that. So oof, that could actually be adjusted. It's just above that VWAP though, just above the area that Gave it that second push to the downside. There she goes. There she goes. All of this is just room to drop, to be honest. Even though you can look further left and find something, this is all just same energy. What else is happening? SPY is dropping a little bit. SPY got a little morning star pattern right there, and that's on a 1 hour time frame. Evening. Sometimes I forget. Yeah, it's the evening star pattern. Sun is setting. Sun is setting. Come on, Biddy. Wow. It's the 15-minute trying to recover a little bit because the 15-minute is quite extended. 15-minute did get quite extended in here. So it's just trying to recover a little bit. I will delete this if price comes back above this because again, technically, when you actually close below, a range, you shouldn't be able to come back into it. That's a violation. But since we held support in here so many times, it could be a great rejection zone if it manages to recover any of this like that, which doesn't, I mean, if it manages to recover any of it. This is, this is horrible. It looks like SPY is pushing back towards this gap, this latest gap up right here. Everything but Hyperliquid is reacting off of that. Everything but hype. Near protocol is actually holding. That's interesting. SUI 4 hour got the bullish divergence with the with compression on it, showing that it is looking to get a breakout. Compression resolved to the upside. It's another 4 hour time frame with bullish divergence. I might take a swing long, take a chance on Suey. Just trying to figure out where I want to do it at. Probably gonna have to wait until it gets about 90. It is. Everything looks like garbage. See. Bitcoin, just gonna pause. I want to look at Sui chart. Which looks like total garbage. Hit it on the 8-hour. And on the daily. Let's jump over here to Sui real quick because Sui looked like it could be an opportunity. Just looking at the lower time frame here on it, I was on an actual 4-hour time frame where Sui is inside of a range in here. It could do very similar to Bitcoin, but you can see down here at these lows how it has been holding and getting bounces away from down here. Hasn't come back into that yet. It did take a little bit of liquidity that was in here off of this low right here. And you can see it's trying to push back up above this low right now. It hasn't quite got up above that. Prior to that, if I just compare the scenario, prior to that, Sui was holding Right through here would have been the area that I would have been looking at for SUI. And given if it broke below it, I'll be looking for a reclaim back above it, which it did do that here. And stop loss would have been below these lows in here. Again, this would be something that would be a spot position just because it's following Bitcoin too closely to be anything other than that. So in this case, if, and it has already done that because since it did close below that level in here and not just wick below it when it did, I don't even have to pull that part right there. Looks like it's already tapped into this on the prior day candle right there. But if it were to come back and let's just say it sweeps the liquidity from this bottom side of this candlestick right here, then this could, and it reclaims back into this area right here, this could be a good place to pick up a long position off of SUI. Since again, it has respected down through here prior. Looks like, I mean, it looks like Bitcoin, obviously, with this situation. A lot better. I would not call this, you know, this is most certainly not a bear flag. But it looks a lot better than Bitcoin in this regard. You can move this up off of the daily, but this is based on the 4 hour range right here, which means that price is compressed. And it's looking to break out. The only way to relieve the compression is going to be with the move to the upside, which isn't far off from that happening. So it could push up and fail at the same time. Just want to be transparent with that much. Could push up and fail at the same time. I was thinking about maybe either waiting until it gets down here or wait for it to actually prove it's going to break out, which is also a good option. At least you're not getting chopped up, because if it's not going to break out, you'll know where it fails at immediately. But if you take it in here, you're not really sure. Yeah, have a plan for liquidity to be taken and to reclaim this level right here if it were to pull back. Otherwise, like I said, wait on the actual expansion out, because it is squeezing. It does have, I don't like the ribbon, it does have a Bollinger Band squeezing here, where you can see it's just kind of holding in between standard 1 and 2 right now, but dropping lower because this is turned to the downside. So momentum or volatility is also down right now. But that could be a good place if you prefer to go off of a lower time frame like the daily. Then I can always move this back for myself. It would be like this, and I mean really like that on the sweep into here, and then take it. I don't think this trend line matters too much because it did break this trend line one time already. So if it were to drop and sweep the liquidity, you'd be a lot cleaner looking at it like this right here. For your zone for it to either hold or reclaim would be right here. So it's a lot less risk on the table. Let's see. Because this didn't work. And this was a nice reaction from here, but that did not work. I don't actually have to use a box for that. I can use a trend line. That didn't work. It tried right in here. Drop, rejected. It's a nice swing pivot zone right there. That's why I said either has to get up above here to prove it's going to break out, or wait for it to drop into here for it to be a lot cleaner of an entry, which would be below here. Yeah, this doesn't really matter. So the next best swing zones right here. Got a nice decent swing from that one and a nice decent swing from that low right there. And then like I said, this one didn't work for whatever reason. And it tried, broke down, reclaimed. Can you look at Solana? Absolutely I can. Absolutely I can look at Solana. Broke down, back test, and came back. So it's one to watch out for though. I might have to switch my screen for Solana. Let me see if I do or don't. Yeah, let me switch my screen. I'm not sure what time frame you really want me to take a look at. Nothing has really changed. I can walk you backwards. Nothing has really changed in here for Solana. I think the last time we were looking at it, we were saying that it needed to get back above this value area low in here. If it didn't, we were looking for it to come back down here into the prior bounce zone, which is right around the 78, 73 here. If I put on actual levels in here, yeah, somewhere back around that 78 to, yeah, back into that weekly level, which is 77. We were talking about that. So still trading below that value area low here for Solana. Solana is still within a larger range zone here, just still consolidating, putting in some sort of I don't know if it's a bear pennant. I don't know if this is a bear pennant. You can find another way of drawing it too. But Solana base case for me is that it actually would drop down into here about 40 something to 30 something bucks. You really don't have a lot of support once Solana actually loses this area right here. So once it loses this is it. Just a lot of air getting down here to the next levels for Solana. I'm very cautious on Solana. On more of a lower time frame. Oof. I shouldn't do 4 hours so I can see what we got. I mean, I would still say the same thing on the 4 hour time frame. Solana had to get back above here to really get interested in any sort of a long position in here on Solana. I don't know if you're looking to be long or if you're looking to be short. Hold on, you said something. Okay. Yeah. I don't want Solana to drop down that low. Somebody said, "Do it." No, don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Otherwise, I mean, it's all about liquidity, in my opinion. We haven't taken this liquidity down here, so I would look for some sort of an SFP if you were looking to get long off of Solana. I most certainly don't see it just bouncing out of the air right here and then jumping back above this value area low here and then running off, to go much higher. I don't see that. I would look for an SFP here, possible. Uh-oh. Look to see if you can't, if you wanted to take a long off of it. Yeah, it would have to be an SFP trade right here. I don't see this thin air trade. This is nothing right here. It's probably like a platinum pocket retracement or something like that. Looks crappy. Um, Trying to stall out with these little doji candles in here. Trying to stall out. But either consider getting long above the value area low or consider getting long off of an SFP, but not in the middle of nowhere. I just don't see it. It has failed to take liquidity right there as well. It took this little bit of liquidity for the SFP. That's gone, so let me just stop this. I thought it picked that up, but I don't know. Let me make sure, just in case it didn't. Exaggerated bullish divergence. So it is another, no. Does it have exaggerated bullish divergence? No, it doesn't. It doesn't even have divergence. Not yet. It would have to, if it did, yeah, if it did an SFP in here, it could have bullish divergence. It doesn't have any right now. Yeah. For the best luck out of this thing, I would most certainly look for some bullish divergence either through the SFP or possibly even tapping back into that 78, 73 right here. Maybe taking that bit of liquidity right here. Otherwise, yeah, your recovery is going to be right there. I just want to put one of these right here. I might look back at Solana, but I don't like Solana on the higher time frame. It just looks like it's just waiting to roll over on you. If you want to play some bullish divs, and that looks better. Had a little bit of bullish divs right there on the one. It's 1 hour. Yeah, if it's looking to play out those bullish divergences here on the 1 hour time frame, I still would repeat myself once again. It still has to get above this value area low to even consider taking a long position off of it. Otherwise, this bullish divergence does nothing for it. And it comes back up and it rejects somewhere in here, which hasn't been successful with the rejections, but either it comes back up and it rejects, and then it comes down to this liquidity. But yeah, that's what I would wait on, something like that. You missed this one, which was this low. That one's been missed. Unless you take it now and put a stop loss just below here, which you're closer to this SFP, so it doesn't make sense in my opinion. And I think, let me see what the mean reversion is, because that makes a difference. Let me get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of volume. I need to get rid of this. I don't know why this is showing up down here. Yep, same thing goes right here. Mean reversion isn't until it hits 81.81 right now, according to the 1 hour time frame. So which could flex a little bit. Yeah. Bullish divergence in a bearish environment doesn't tend to play out until you get above your mean. And right now that's at 81.80. It's not actually at this value area low. It's at 81.80 right now. Have to get above that in order to play out the bullish divs in here. Let me turn that off. That's annoying. Garbage. Got to see you later. Thank you, Crypto YT. I appreciate you so much. I didn't even realize that we got to about 8:44 and we're doing nothing. We're doing nothing in time right now. What was this on? Right now, at least on the weekly time frame, the RSI is still positive on the weekly. We did hit our target for the rejection point here on Solana, right here, in terms of momentum play for the downside push, but it's still holding positive in here right now. It's your baseline right here for the drop was right in here in accordance with these areas right through here. It just looks like garbage. It's like garbage. That has been the overall consistent low of momentum in here, but it can do it twice. It did it twice over here. Did that one and then this one right here. So it can do it twice right here from here and come back into here, which again, like I said, would be, in my opinion, would be price coming down here to about 40 something bucks. 40 something bucks is going to be your next level of support for Solana. You don't have anything else to here once this is gone on your long-term outlook for it. Short term, you can keep playing this range because it's still holding it. Just SFP plays, basically. That SFP bounce right there. You didn't get one there. So another SFP bounce. Got 1, 2 in here already. for this Bitcoin, I mean, I know we said we know what we're looking at, which is basically everybody's looking at it too. So maybe a lot more money to push it up, squeeze it up if everybody's looking at it. Maybe they don't want to send it to it, but this is what I would just wait for if you're looking for a long position is for price action to either respect this golden pocket with this VWAP and this shelf of support in here, which is in the middle of nowhere for me because I'm looking, I like for actual levels to be tapped. Um, or we're looking for this liquidity right here. Right now, I don't know which one is which because I'm trying to get that off my chart. Let me hide that. Once again, this is where we bounce from every time. So hopefully it'll do it again. Once it drops into here, hopefully it'll do it again and we'll bounce again. That was the one before. That was the one before that. We're crossing it now. We're at 2708. That's 2721. And that is against this low over here. And this has been ever since we've dropped down on the MACD, ever since the MACD cross. Yeah. Yep. Ever since our MACD has been trading below the zero line. I mean, that's been our bounce area right here, around about this low. Before that, it was the earlier one. It was this one. So I know we're going to get some reaction right here once we tap into it, but we haven't done that yet. Yep. This is actually where we started putting in the bearish divergence too. So you do tend to come back to wherever you start putting in that the bearish divergence at. When you roll over, you do tend to come back into it. And it was right over in here. It's where we put in the bear div, it looks like. Right through here, we started going bearish. Not coming above this high. Well, it was this high over here, it looks like. But right here is where, let me see if that was higher than that. I can't remember. It is slightly higher. It is slightly higher. We swiped it some kind of way. I'm gonna run with that though. Put in the bear div there. Go down, came up, down. Yeah. I'm gonna drop this on top of that VWAP. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I haven't bought any more Solana. I sold some Solana. I explained how I waited until the very last minute to even make a sale on Solana. I took out my initial profit when I first entered my Solana position, which was around 20 something dollar mark, and then rode it all the way up. Rode it back up to doubling the account to be able to take out my initial investment, and then I never took any actual profits for myself. And then it started to fall, and I started to get a little bit worried about it, especially if I think I had in my notation below like 120 was the most bearish case for it to actually go way lower. Um, and then it just continued from that 120 down. So I didn't even take any profits until right around there. Try not to round trip the bag all the way, because it's a strong possibility for Solana right now. It's nice to see it is respecting that level, but still not looking too great. We still got 3 hours on this candle, which I won't be here for, but you can definitely, I mean, ugh. That VWAP right there did us some great justice for a while. So I know a lot of eyes are looking here. Maybe they want to front run it. I don't know. I'm gonna wait on it because I'm already still holding onto this long position. And I'm down on it right now. So we'll pay the market if I don't get up. If it doesn't get up from here. And again, you can see this is the best next good support level. You just look across here because it was great resistance through here until we got above. We had a little bit of a struggle right in here where we put in a triangle formation for that continuation. Up right here, again, right in here, you can see how it's stalled, and then back in there, and then the 2 bounces that we got right here. That's below VWAP, but that's where that liquidity is sitting at, but it would be below that VWAP. When that's gone, it's like, then what? If we, oof, it's the last of the Mohegans right in here. Bounce, crazy bounce right there. The bounce that was over here, but this is like the biggest energy. This is where all the money came in, right here. This is where BlackRock actually picked up right here. They don't report it until late. So everybody who was confused about this pump right here, BlackRock bought right here. They had high interest, high demand right here. This is where most of the hold on, let me see something. And 331 required the filing of the statement. 331. Open up the document. No, Vanguard filed that. That was Vanguard, because that's the time where Vanguard goes in and they start buying a whole bunch of different assets. So Vanguard actually filed this. Vanguard Capital Management. That was the same. Yeah, right here is where they were doing a lot of buying. Right down through here. That end of the month, they did a lot of buying, and they picked up right there. Trying to find your 130. Yeah, 3. Yeah, right here. So this is Vanguard's 331. 331. So that's that low that you're seeing down there, that 66. This is where they actually Vanguard goes in and they pick up, because they pick up over 5%. When you pick up over 5%, then you have to do a Schedule 13. And so you can see the amount of shares that they ended up, picking up in here, acquiring on behalf of, their investors right down through here. Yeah. This is their 7.51%. And see, they didn't file it until later. They didn't file it until later. But if you were on the it was the IBIT share, something that I was looking at on the IBIT shares that I noticed, and I kept saying that they bought like institutional money went in, and so a lot of people just got confused about this pump over here, but a lot was bought through here, a lot, and that gave it that nice pump to the upside. So do we actually come back in here for these guys? Is these people down through here? I wonder. I wonder. But this is, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll drop this. Not that. I'm gonna leave it like that. But yeah, it's a big dilly. And then let's see. Can see a lot of the acquisitions going on through here, all through, which is weird. Where's the 19th? You see some acquisitions going on all down through here. Acquiring. I think I ran through all of these. I see a lot of acquiring on the 19th. Yeah, so this ends up being the only one I see where someone actually put in a Form 4, which is for the sale, and then about 4,800 or 4,900, 4,872 were sold, are said to be sold in here. A lot of times when they do file it, they do sell. I'm sorry, I'm speaking 144, my bad. The 144 is the sale of the securities. Form 4 is where you actually report on it. But that was Igawa. I don't know. I can see sushi in here. A sushi. Did they ever report? Yeah, and so that, yeah. Usually when they do that 144, they're already selling it. They have a few days to actually file for that sale. And then you can see right here where they started disposing right here. So the D right here is disposed of it. So they're selling it. That person's selling it already in here. But all of these other reports in here on the Form 4, these are acquiring, but we're still seeing a sell-off in here. But these, I'm not going to click on all of them, but these securities acquired. So you get an A right here, and then you can see what they're actually buying, whether it's for them directly or indirectly. But a lot of buying down through here, and that was the only sale of security, which you would still have to go through these Form 4s in here, but this is the only sale of security right here that was filed with the following report indicating that it was sold. And then of course, like I said, Vanguard, picks up right here, and they don't file it off until the 29th, but they actually acquired down there on that March, the end of March. But we see Bitcoin price action do this nice pump up right here. So, Vanguard bought twice in here, right here. Vanguard Group bought, Vanguard Capital Management bought. And all of this is for Accenture, so you can see them start to accumulate. Yep. So I don't know about this. I don't know. I don't know right now. That will be the next area. But I don't know right now. All right, I'm gonna call it a quit. We already know what we're looking at. If we get down, we can if we can hold. Again, you do have a shelf of support coming in right around what this VWAP is. After you get the drop into the golden pocket, we can see if we can't hold that. If we're not able to hold the support that's in here, especially leaning with the VWAP and the volume range of support that is showing up, we're not able to hold that. And I'm gonna put that on this. I'm gonna put it on this zone right here. If we're not able to hold that, then likely that we drop lower. Either swooping this liquidity right here or front running front running that liquidity. But either way it goes, we're gonna end up breaking this trend line if we do that. Unless it's just one, yeah, we're gonna end up breaking this trend line, which that's going to be the start of this bear flag being broken down again. So how relevant is it? I don't know. That's going to be the start of this being broken down again. But first place to look is going to be around your VWAP. That's the VWAP taken from if you just drop it on your low for that 60,000, that's this VWAP. This is the one that was above that VWAP. That was the second pivot. This is the first pivot VWAP right here, where you have that shelf of volume over here with the golden pocket right in here. Let's see how this goes. See how that goes. All right. Appreciate you for being here, and I will see you tomorrow, 6 a.m.